What makes you look so good? Why don't you love me like I know you could?
All right, 6 minutes after 10 o'clock, beautiful Friday morning. When you hear that music and you know it's Friday, it must be time for Ocala Magazine Radio. Kelly Hart is in the studio ready to bring you her show. Good morning, Kelly.
Hey, good morning.
How you doing?
I'm great. I am great this morning.
How can you not be great on a Friday morning? People working outside, you're in air conditioning, right?
It's wonderful.
They look at you, they say, you know what? They got it made. It's like that song. What was that song? Working for Nothing and the Chicks for Free.
Yes.
What was that song, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Well, we have a really great panel of guests today. And first of all, I want to start out by just thanking WOCA for being so wholesome.
We are wholesome.
So family friendly.
We have been.
It's such a breath of fresh air in Ocala.
I would say.
You can always tune in and know that we are going to be promoting positive things in
Brad
our
is
community.
looking at you like, where are you going with this?
Well, you know, it's positive. Ocala is about our community and the people that are here, and they're constantly worrying about how can we do better in Ocala and make Ocala better. And so I just wanted to thank you guys for being a really good outlet for a positive source.
I think that's the first time I've been called an outlet, but thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate that.
That's the way I see it. And Ocala Magazine Radio is, we have our guest in the house today, and we are kicking off, this month is our charity registry. And annually, we put out a charity registry, which is a very thorough listing of all of the different community organizations and charitable organizations in Ocala that are constantly doing good for people and with people in our community. So to keep the theme of that going for this month, I'm going to be introducing the organizations on our show so you can learn a little bit about their organization, the missions, the things they do, the people they are, and some of the events that they have coming up. So in the studio today, I have Tina Banner, who is Vice President of Resource Development with United Way, and Brad Nemo, President and CEO of Habitat for Humanity. Thank you guys for being here today. Thanks for having us. We're happy to have you this Friday. So Tina, let me start with you. Just give us a little bit of an introduction about United Way here in Marion County.
Sure, absolutely. The United Way of Marion County, we've been here since 1961. Our mission is to unite local resources to help our neighbors, and we're focused on advancing the common good in the areas of education, income, and health, because the bottom line is if you don't have a good education, you're probably not going to land a good job, and that job's probably not going to come with health benefits, and we all know that health certainly affects everything.
Absolutely.
So those are some of the building blocks of life, is what we'd like to call education, income, and health, and that's what we're here to focus on here locally.
Very good. Now, how did you personally get involved with United Way?
Well, I've been at the United Way for 11 years, and it's just a great organization to be a part of. I mean, I guess my first introduction was when I used to work for public supermarkets way back in the day, and my first opportunity to get involved with United Way was to give. And I remember actually going on a tour of our local Salvation Army, and it was just amazing the work that United Way does with their different agency partners. We actually fund 23 different programs at 19 local agencies. Yeah, so you're really getting a big bang for your buck when you give to the United Way, because all the money that's raised in the community stays right here. Mm-hmm. And so that was a big eye-opening experience to see the work and to see how far that United Way can actually stretch your dollar. So when I had the opportunity to work for the organization, I absolutely jumped on it.
That's great. And you talked about your community partners. Who are some of them?
We have the Boys and Girls Club, which is one of our partners, the Arnett House, Shepherd's Lighthouse down in Bellevue, Community of Gratitude in Ocala, Annie Johnson Senior Service Center in Dunellen, Marion Senior Services as a partner. Yeah, so the list goes on and on. Domestic violence shelter.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And tell us about some of the employees that you have that help make the United Way in Marion County so successful.
Sure. One of our great employees that we have is Jan Hathaway, and she is our volunteer coordinator for our Reading Pals program. And Reading Pals is pretty new to the organization, but basically it focuses on partnering volunteers with local kindergartners that are struggling. We have approximately 250 to 500 kindergartners that start school every year that can't identify one letter of the alphabet.
Wow.
They don't know their name, they don't know any letters.
Wow.
You know, a long time ago when we all started kindergarten, we had to know our letters, or we learned our letters and numbers in kindergarten, but these kids have to know that now before going in. So we are partnering with the school system. We're real excited about that. We work in the academy programs which is at 15 different elementary schools. And our goal is to partner volunteers up with these kindergartners that are struggling. And we've already completed year 1. And we're getting ready to start year 2. Actually, Reading Pals kicks off next week. If people and the listeners want to still be a volunteer, they can. The only commitment is 1 hour a week.
Wow.
So 1 hour a week is all that's required. And all they do is they partner with this little kindergartner, they read a book, they do some activities, and then that kindergartner gets to take that book home.
Oh, how
so
nice.
they actually get to build their home library. And
That's
that's one of the
sweet.
problems
Yeah,
that kids had in the beginning. They never had any age-appropriate books at home. So that is a really amazing program. We're actually seeing huge strides with kids that entered kindergarten last year. They actually have left kindergarten, now going into first grade. They're already on first grade reading level, if not second grade reading level.
Wow.
So yeah, it's just, that gives you the warm and fuzzies. I mean,
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
That's, the United Way's mission of mobilizing our community to really make a huge difference. We have another staff member that, her name is Marcia, and she works with volunteers as well for our Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, better known as VITA. That's our acronym that we use. And again, we ask for volunteers. They're trained and certified by the IRS. You don't have to have any kind of accounting background to be part of our VITA program. And during the springtime, when people get their taxes done, you can come to the United Way and get them done for free.
Oh,
We
I didn't know this.
Yes,
Didn't know it either.
We did 1,600 returns last year.
Wow.
Yeah, so saving over $300,000 in fees that people would have paid. And, and for a lot of these individuals that are getting their taxes done, I mean, that's a car payment, that's an electric bill. I mean,
Absolutely.
saving that kind of money, will go a long way. So those are 2 real special staff members that we have that are.
I'm sure my accountant's thinking, oh, I wish Kelly didn't know that now.
Oh, that guy, that Statue of Liberty, he's probably saying, oh, man.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
Well, that's great. And so how can people get in touch with those 2 ladies to find out about volunteer opportunities?
Yeah, absolutely. They can just call our office, which is 732-9696. They can ask for Jan, who's in charge of our Reading Pals program, or Marcia, who's in charge of our VITA program, and sign up. In fact, for our VITA program, the training, and I think there's an orientation session actually coming up at the end of September, and you can learn more about it, find out if this is what you want to do. But the training will go through the end of the year because, January is when we have to be ready for tax
Right.
season.
Well, I'm not a numbers person, so I don't want to even consider that portion of volunteering, but I would love to meet with the kindergartner and read to them. I have a little bit of experience in doing so.
And I've seen posts on Facebook of Lily and the writing, yeah.
So last year, I have 1 year's experience under my belt of reading to a kindergartner.
There you go.
So I think I qualify.
I think
I think you do.
So I might have to look into that.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. And we'll come back and talk about some of the events that you have coming up. I want to move over to Brad Nemo. Good morning, Brad.
Good morning.
He is the president and CEO of Habitat for Humanity. And Brad, if you will just tell us a little bit about Habitat and what you guys do here in Marion County.
Well, we've been around since 1991 as an organization. Marion County Habitat for Humanity as an organization internationally has been around since the early 70s. Since our inception in 91, we've built almost 200 houses. Well on our path to put another 50 out of the ground in the next 2 years. We've changed our mission a little bit from being new home builders to being community redevelopers, and we're taking over a lot of the foreclosed homes that have come on the market, rehabbing them and putting them back into the housing stock so they become part of the tax rolls.
That's great.
We deal with folks that are low income, 80% are below the median income. It was interesting to listen to Tina talk about the income tax because many of our people, as they go through our financial classes that we hold, we realize that they have a lot of spending leakage, and one of them is they're in such a hurry to get their income tax back, they'll run out to one of the local places, pay several $100s so they can get a quick return.
That's right.
And as Tina said, that's an electric bill or a mortgage payment or something like that. So partnering with Marcia over at the United Way is on our radar to start with our people this coming year so that they start making better choices on spending.
Yeah, it only makes sense, right?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And I know before I started working with Brad on a project that we'll talk about a little bit later,
Project.
It's a really cool project. I was not fully aware of how Habitat worked. I was a little bit naive to the process. I just thought somebody somehow made themselves known and said, I need a home, I don't have one, and Habitat built it for them.
A set of keys, right?
Right. And so I was like, how does this work? How do these people get these free houses? I'm not understanding. But I've had the pleasure of not only working with Brad, but in this month's Ocala magazine, I did a story on Habitat, and it does touch a little bit about how the process works. But I want Brad to mention how it works too for people that just like me assumed I need a house. Here you go. There is a process, and these people do work for their homes, and they do pay for their homes. I want Brad to explain that.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much a common myth that Habitat is a giveaway program. It's not. It's a hand up, not a handout, and that's been our motto for years. Jimmy Carter did not start Habitat for Humanity, as most people think. He's one of our most famous volunteers, but was actually started by a man named Millard Fuller in Americus, Georgia, just outside of Plains. And the idea was, at that time, called partnership housing, to have low-income people move into simple, decent houses. But they had to qualify, and they had to have some skin in the game. So qualification is based on 3 criteria, and that's the need for shelter, living in substandard, overcrowded, or rent-burdened conditions, willingness to partner with Habitat, which means putting in 350 sweat equity hours during the process of going through the program, which includes life skills, financial training, so forth, and then at least 200 hours working on their house or someone else's house. So they really have some skin in the game by the time they get in there. And their ability to pay is the third, because Habitat is not a giveaway program. Habitat is the mortgage holder. We're the bank. We provide a zero-interest mortgage, which makes it very affordable. Most of our house payments are less than $400 a month, including taxes and insurance. So it really gives the low-income person a chance to uplift himself, get some roots down, and especially for the children, it gives them a stable environment, takes them out of the the low income has a tendency to be transient from rental to rental. It helps them put down roots, and we know that once kids put down roots, they thrive in school and in their neighborhoods and in their environments.
Absolutely. I was really impressed in the number of hours that they had to put in. That's a lot of community service hours. And when we were working on the obstacles for the mud run that we'll talk about, I was able to meet some of the volunteers. And it was, for some of them, they said, this is kind of a nice change of pace because this is something that's very unfamiliar to what you're used to building, which are homes. And instead, they're building climbing walls.
I like when they refer to it as a ministry because, it really is. You involve prayer in the buildings. Mm-hmm. The whole idea of having a no-interest loan is biblical. And a lot of people don't realize that it really is based on biblical principles.
Absolutely. And talk to us, Brad, a little bit about your volunteer coordinator and some of the things that she's responsible for and how people can get in touch with her as well.
Well, Brittany's been with us about a year. She's a new one, and she's hit the ground running as a young college graduate. It's good to see some young, enthusiastic blood that has some energy, and in fact, starting to wear this old guy out a little bit. But we have all kinds of volunteer opportunities. Of course, working on the job site is kind of the thing that Habitat's known for, and certainly we're always looking for volunteers to volunteer on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, which are our big hammer swinging days. But you don't have to have any skills to come out. We have trained professionals out there that will make sure you don't hit your thumbnail.
I think Robin hit her thumbnail, didn't she?
Yeah, I think Robin did during the women's build. Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
But,
it's permanently marked with her blood. It was blessed with her blood.
Oh, was it? Oh, no. Well, and in the article I was able to write for you guys, it did mention this new project, or at least it was new to me, and it's the Phoenix Project. Would you elaborate on that a little bit for us?
Sure. We've got several things going. Habitat is, I think I mentioned earlier, has stepped out of just being home builders and be community partners. One of our great partnerships is the Phoenix Rising program, which takes youth 18 to 21 with barriers to employment and identifies those 16 at a time per class. And they work with the workforce development coach from Workforce in conjunction with Habitat and the Ocala Police Department and Hinkles and McCoy, which is a private contractor who provides youth services to Workforce. And former Chief of Police Sam Williams came up with the idea of Phoenix Rising when we did not receive a youth build grant, which we had applied for with the Department of Labor. But Sam was determined to go forward, so he brought us all together, said, how can we make this work? So we put together this Phoenix Rising program. The young people spend several weeks in the classroom prior to going to the job site, and then they come out to the job site and build a Habitat house as part of their learning process. The house is kind of the aftermath. What we try to do, and the purpose of the program, is to get these youth employed. So we may start with 16 and end up with 5 at the end. And that's good because they got employed. That's exactly what we're trying to do. So the idea is not to get the house finished in 16 weeks, but to give them life skills. And when they come out to the job site, they come out unskilled, most of them. And the idea to bring them on the site is to teach them, follow instructions, be on time, learn how to do things safely, and just a sense of responsibility. And so by the time they leave the program, they have several certifications. They're fully OSHA certified in safety. They have customer service certification and food handler certification.
How do they get involved? If somebody wanted to participate as a youth, how do they get involved in that?
Call the Workforce,
Okay.
Workforce Connection, and ask them about the Phoenix program.
Very good.
We just recruited our class. We have our wall raising first Monday in October.
I like the attitude about it. You know, this didn't work out, but we decided we're going to get together and figure out a way to make it happen either way. And that's usually how things get done. You don't take no for an answer. And especially when it comes to something that's going to benefit the community, you kind of can't take no for an answer. You have to find that way to make it happen.
It is really such a good program, and we've always been so impressed by the program. And I want to interject something because you kind of opened, Kelly, with kind of saying we were a kinder station, a nicer station.
Yes, sir.
Well, that we had an afternoon guy that had a run-in with Brad, and he had no, remember?
Yep.
I won't name names, but he had no clue what you were about, and basically said everything wrong about what you were doing, making it seem like it was some kind of a handout. And I remember it upset Brad. Brad had been on the morning show quite often, so we got it in the morning.
Yeah.
But the afternoon, and it wasn't. And the guy we have now, Buddy, he's way kinder, way nicer. Trust me. But remember, it was a run-in. And it was so heartbreaking because just a little bit of homework, Kelly, as you know you've done, makes you realize that this is an awesome program, making a huge contribution for the people who live in the houses as well as for the people who build them. Yeah.
Well, it's unfortunate when someone has a microphone in front of them and spouts things off that are absolutely not only untrue, but they just didn't take the time to thoroughly get their facts together. Not the first time that's happened.
No, not only on the microphone, but on the keyboard as well.
Amen. Amen to that.
That's right.
I want to go back to Tina and talk about the event that you guys that you have coming up. I absolutely love this colored flyer. It's Zombies and Superheroes, Friday, September 13th. Join us for a thrilling 2013 campaign kickoff, if you dare. And it is, 11:30 to 12 o'clock. There's lunch, there's a program. Tell us a little bit about this event and what this means to you.
Absolutely. This is our annual campaign kickoff. So every year we kick off the annual fundraising drive, and so this is our big ceremonial event that we're doing, and we kind of are taking off from pop culture and with this big zombie craze that's going on. Although my daughter was quick to point out, Mom, I don't think superheroes really goes with zombies. I have not seen superheroes on The Walking Dead. But, you always have the good guys and the bad guys.
Right.
And so our superheroes are our individual donors and companies that are coming forward. We have over 100 companies in this community that give their employees an opportunity to give back through payroll deduction and give to United Way through, contributions through payroll deduction. And so those are our superheroes, and we're going to be honoring them and talking about the zombies, those scary statistics that are out there, and what we can do as a community to really step forward, because these last few years have been really difficult with the economy, and it's doom and gloom, and I'm not naive enough to know that it's still out there, it still exists, but we all need to work together as a community and pull ourselves up and make a huge effort.
And it's fun that it's on Friday, the 13th.
Don't be afraid to give.
So that's really cute. And you can find more information about this at www.uwmc.org. So that looks like a lot of fun, and I hope people will get involved with that and register on Friday the 13th. And on Saturday, September 14th, Brad, along with myself and a few other folks, including the Marion County Sheriff's Department employee who's battling cancer, will all benefit from the Milliard Monster Mud Run, which is the first of its kind here in Ocala. And they've had the pleasure of getting on board and building our obstacles, which was challenging but fun, I hope, for your crew.
It was.
And I'll let you touch on that a little bit in the way of volunteering and coming out for that event.
Well, we certainly need a lot of volunteers. I've been told that we need about 100 volunteers between parking assistance and registration and manning the obstacles to make sure people run the right direction. And if somebody gets hurt, there's the ability to get help to them. We're praying no one gets hurt. We know the obstacles are built pretty sturdy. So I would imagine, and Kelly, you've been to some of these before, in talking to Clint, some people let their egos get in front of their common sense, and they can get hurt.
There are those people.
That would be me.
There are those people. Yeah. Yes, they are. And it's funny when you look at the obstacle. It's how hard can it be? It's a 10-foot, 12-foot wall. I can climb this, and then you realize very quickly, no, I can't, or I need help, or that's why people register as teams. It's a lot of fun because even though you're doing something as a group, you really are helping each other the whole way through. So when you finish, you're finishing as a team. And a lot of times it can either bring you a lot closer or or drive a wedge, because it's like, why didn't you help me? But it is going to be a lot of fun. The mud run scene is not new, but it is new to Ocala, this one specifically. And people can get more information at www.milliardmonster.com. Has all the information about being a participant, being a spectator, food vendors, parking. Like we say, the proceeds are going to benefit Habitat for Humanity and the young lady at the Marion County Sheriff's Department who is battling cancer. So they've all rallied together for her, which is very, very wonderful. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Slowpoke's Barbecue will be there as our food vendor. So they're going to have sausage wrapped in pancakes and some delicious stuff for breakfast. And then they will move into lunch with pulled pork sandwiches and boiled peanuts and all the stuff that
making me hungry.
You have to have this at a mud run. You have to have this kind of food. It's at Fuquay Sawmill in Ocala, Florida, which is off of 27. And if anybody has any information, there's an email, phone numbers, all of that stuff is listed there. And if you want to register as a volunteer for this event, we're asking everybody do that through Habitat so we can keep a compiled, organized list of our volunteers. And Brad, what is the email for that, or the website?
The website is www.habitatocala.org. www.habitatocala.org.
So Larry, are you going to put a team together?
I will be rooting. Let me just say this, though. I am so proud of what you've done, Kelly, to put this together. I think it's awesome. I went to one last year. Robin's daughter was in one called the Savage Race or something.
Oh, yeah.
It is unbelievable. And the spirit of the whole thing was what I was mostly impressed with. Everybody was, because, again, it was for a good cause, as yours is.
Yeah.
So I'm real proud to say I know the lady who's putting it together.
Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you guys being supportive and helping us get the information out about it, because it is fun, and people get to come out and do something on a Saturday, which is the Gator bye week. So don't worry, Gator fans, you're not going to miss this game. Trust me, this was strategic in planning, but it's going to support a really great cause, and so we look forward to having everybody out there. And I want to thank you guys for being here. Next week we'll have 2 more guests that will touch on their organizations as we keep the theme of our Ocala Magazine charity registry going throughout the month of September. And I want to thank you, Larry, for having us this morning, and start looking for those magazines on magazine stands all around Ocala and Marion County.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you all. We'll take a little break. Be right back.
You look so good.
George, you're on.